An Amazon manager who bought a Lamborghini while leading a 9.4 million theft ring has been sentenced to 16 years. And I find this kind of interesting because one, how did she get caught? Or he? No, she. But do you really think it's smart if you're doing like a criminal enterprise to just buy a Lamborghini? Like, does that make sense? So, an Amazon manager who masterminded an audacious $10 million fraud that allowed her to buy a Lamborghini in a mansion where she lived with her co conspirator girlfriend is riding off to the big house. Karika Wortham, 32, an operations manager at the e commerce giant's Atlanta warehouse, was sentenced to 16 years in a federal prison for orchestrating the plot involving six others that bilked the e commerce giant out of $9.4 million, the Department of Justice said Wednesday. She used the stolen money to fund an extravagant lifestyle for herself and her 37-year-old lover, Brittany Hudson, the DOJ said. The couple bought a fleet of luxury cars, including a Tesla, a Porsche, and a Lamborghini, as well as a $1 million home in Smyrna, Georgia, an Atlanta suburb near the Amazon warehouse where Warham worked. Warham, who worked at the Amazon facility from about August 2020 to March 2022, was charged with wire fraud last September and pleaded guilty in November. She abused her position of trust at Amazon, the DOJ said. The feds seized the cars and home that Warren bought with the stolen money, which were valued at about 2.7 million, and Warren, who represented herself in court, meaning, like, what? So you're smart enough to be able to steal $10 million from Amazon, but you're too stupid in terms of like legality issues or like legal issues that you represent yourself. That is the dumbest freaking thing that you could potentially ever do. So she was also ordered to pay 9.5 million in restitution to Amazon and faces 3 years of supervised release after she serves her long stint. Nick Lotito, a lawyer who served as standby counsel for her, said the sentence was greater than necessary per the New York Times. Was it greater than necessary? I mean, she stole $10 million. $10 million. That ain't a small amount of money. And she basically was like an owner of an organized crime ring, basically. A spokesperson or spokeswoman for Amazon declined to comment on the case. The scheme involved Warham submitting false invoices for fake vendors and then redirecting the funds to herself and six others in the theft ring, according to the feds. Hudson, who owned a business contracted by Amazon to deliver packages, helped Warham submit fake invoices to Amazon that were worth millions of dollars, according to prosecutors. She was indicted by a federal grand jury on conspiracy, wire fraud, and money laundering charges last month. Also involved in the plot were Demetrius Hines, who worked in loss prevention for Amazon, and human resources assistant Laquita Blancard, the Fed said. Hines and Blanchard reportedly provided Warren with names and social security numbers that were used to falsify vendor accounts. Hines bought this stolen personal information from Jaquan Fraser, who also pleaded guilty, and prosecutors said Chief U.S. District Judge Timothy C. Bann will sentence Hines, Blanchard, and Fraser at a later date. Also facing charges is Jamar L. James, an operations manager at another Georgia-based Amazon location in Duluth, who Warham allegedly recruited to provide her with falsified invoices. The DOJ accused James of continuing to approve fake invoices on behalf of Amazon even after Warham left the company in March 2022. Charges against James and Daryl J. Burgo, who also allegedly sold people's personal information to Warham, are still pending. And before Warham was sentenced, she and Hudson were free on bail and worked with a franchising company to try to open a hook bar, crew lounge in Midtown Atlanta, the DOJ statement said. The couple allegedly sent forged court documents signed by a federal judge and stamped with a fake seal of Northern District of Georgia Court, indicating that the charge had been dismissed. Hudson also allegedly emailed the franchising company false bank documents that inflated the balances in her accounts. So when prosecutors learned of the forgery, Warham and Hudson's bonds were revoked, and charges in that case are pending. So, just think about this for a second, right? So they were basically getting charged by the DOJ for wire fraud, for like these fake invoices, for like basically lying, for stealing money, etc. Just being like a degenerate criminal, right? And so while they're on bond, while they are somewhat free, like as in you're free to basically walk around, get your affairs in order, try to live a what like a somewhat normal life, hire good attorneys, which they didn't do. They go and try to open a business, basically doing what they did at Amazon, which is commit fraud. Like, I don't know. This sounds so stupid to me. It's like they might have actually had a chance to like not spend the 16 years. Like she might have had the chance to not spend 16 years, but she was so stupid that she blatantly broke the law while she was being investigated for already breaking the law. Like like another way to think of it, right? Basically what she did. Say someone got arrested for a DUI, as in drinking under the influence. So you drove a car, your car, while you were drunk, and your license got taken away after that. Charges are pending, right? But you're still free to just move around. But you can't be operating a vehicle, right? Still being investigated, all that kind of stuff, right? But you can't really be operating a vehicle. And they basically just got into another car while drunk again and got caught again. Like that is just so stupid. All crimes are not equal. 9.6 million for 16 years. By contrast, a jury convicted the Ronis fraudster Holmes got 11 years for investor wire fraud conspiracy count and 3 substantive wire fraud counts relating to the scheme to defraud investors, including wire transfers totaling more than $140 million. The thing is, to my knowledge, the Holmes situation, it didn't start out as a scam, right? They were basically trying to create a legitimate business, but the girl was so stupid that she just couldn't get anything to work and tried to flub her way because she was failing constantly and just kept like basically kept trying to solve issues that came up, right? Which caused her to keep going down a deeper and deeper and deeper hole to where there's no getting out of it, right? Whereas this sort of thing, you straight up was an owner of a criminal ring that you recruited multiple people into this criminal ring to commit crime, to steal money from a massive corporation. The other one, the person was just basically a moron. This one, this person is just lacking common sense, but is legitimately an evil person that is constantly trying to steal money. Because even when they got caught doing what they did, their first thing that they did was go and commit the basically exact same crime to try to get more money. Like, it's just so crazy to me. Let's see. My partner was a group controller, 7 plants reporting to him. His comment to me was when one of my accountants drives a fancy car or has a huge home, it is time to do an audit of their books. Also, when the accountants went on vacation, he would go and take over their job so you could see what they were doing. Yeah. The thing is, like, depending on the industry, depending on like the location, depending on the company that they work for, there's a lot of accountants that make really good money. Like depending on how they manage their finances, because some accountants can't manage their own finances, funny enough, you could potentially make hundreds of thousands of dollars as an accountant for the right company. Now, obviously, that is not the norm, but you could be an accountant and make that type of money. So you could have an awesome home. You could have an awesome car, right? But let's say that your job title basically says originally that like the base pay should be about like 70K, and out of nowhere you buy a Lamborghini and a mega mansion. Yeah, something might be up in that scenario, you know. Just maybe. No picture of the perp. An Amazon manager driving a Lambo, living in a $1 million house, that won't draw too much attention. Yeah, exactly. And really, the only way that you could probably actually no, there's two ways that you could probably like pass this off to make it kind of believable, right? One, you won the lottery. Two, you got early on crypto and sold and made millions upon millions of dollars, which some people have, right? There are some people that exist right now that got so lucky because they bought crypto and forgot about it, like just completely forgot about it, and they're like sitting on like 10 or like $20 million. I remember reading this story where this one guy was basically like a hermit all through his life, basically a screw up all of his life, right? From like high school and didn't even go to college, didn't even get any sort of like skilled trade, did not get any certification, did not really work any job at all. Basically just like stayed at home and lived with like the in the basement of his parents' home or something. And but for some reason he had put like his like small life savings, which probably buy like allowance or whatever, like basically no money, right? Into Ethereum, not Bitcoin, Ethereum, I believe. And basically, as time went on, like he forgot about it, but as time went on, the amount that he put into Ethereum, I think, got him like 15 or something $1 million, which is pretty insane. So he basically went from like a hermit that played only games to now a guy who's able to like live anywhere in the world playing games and like basically literally did nothing with his life. So there are situations like that, but it's very rare and you probably won't ever actually meet someone in that scenario, but it's just funny, right? Like if you're working like a 9 to 5 job and typically nothing has changed in your like lifestyle and all of a sudden you start driving a Lambo, you start buying mansions, and if you got like a good like social circle, like a big social circle, people are going to start asking questions like, "Hey, how did that so and so buy this? Oh, that person's like living here. Huh? Isn't that like a really expensive zip code?" Etc. 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 So I mean, if you're gonna do something like criminal like this, at the very least, don't like flaunt what you are doing. Don't be that dumb,